Hi, we're here in New York City today to prove that people will believe anything you say if you phrase it like a question and are holding a microphone. The band One Direction has been touring so much recently that they're actually employing look and sound alike members that fill in for the members of the band.
On stage?
On stage. Now, this is to help prevent tour fatigue. Do you think that that's fair to fans?
No, that's not fair, you know?
Absolutely not. They all need to be there. That's what they're paying for.
I understand the concept of, trying to take a break and make sure that you don't get too fatigued. But I also understand the concept of transparency. Then you need to be transparent and say, look, we're not always going to be out there. It might be lookalike. So I have no problem with it as long as they say.
I don't see what the difference between that and Milli Vanilli lip syncing, and we all thought it was them singing, and it wasn't.
It's probably not right. Milli Vanilli, but that was actually them.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was actually them, but they were lip singing. These are people who sing just like them.
But
Makes you wonder now when you buy tickets to see a band, are you really getting who you think you're going to see?
Right.
I mean, you're making millions of dollars a year. Take a fan or two, you know? Totally uncalled for and unacceptable.
Okay.
And I hope they see this somehow. Yeah. And I'm sure they feel the same way, you know, deep down.
This summer, the city of Cancun, Mexico will move 20 miles north because city officials say that pollution has gotten so bad from spring breakers that they can no longer cover it over with sand. Do you think that the United States should help pay to move Cancun, Mexico, given that most tourists that go there are from America?
No, because our tourists start spending all their money there to go there.
110% no.
Okay.
That's money for them. They're making money off those tourists.
Yeah, I mean, America should. You know, the local people are suffering down there, you know? The economy's not good. I mean, the tourist business does help.
No. I think that the Mexican government should enforce keeping the place clean.
I guess it's sort of like a father taking responsibility for his son's misdeeds.
I'm not convinced. We've been to Cancun a few times, and I'm not convinced that the tourists generate enough trash to relocate a beach. I mean, people spring break in America all the time and no beaches move.
If you're going to play in somebody else's ballpark, you have to play by their rules.
They allowed all this to happen. They should have enforced it earlier.
There's a lot of different things that we need to deal with in foreign affairs. We have a nuclear Iran. Iran is going for a nuclear. We need to make sure that we're dealing with the right things at this time.
This year, the New York Times is taking Bring Your Daughter to Work Day very seriously. And what they're going to do is have the daughters of some of the staffers actually create an actual edition of the New York Times. Do you think that the daughters should do the job of their specific parent, or should they be split up into different jobs based on ability and age?
Wow, that's a pretty deep question.
Skills, ability, and age, definitely. You're not your parents.
Whether it's interests or abilities, I don't know. It probably should have something to do with interests, but I think there's a lot to be said for someone who's 8 years old and not really sure what they're doing to someone who's 16 and interested in publishing.
It would be a hard thing to say, oh, you're 4 years old, you can't take over my job, sweetheart. I'm going to give it to somebody else who happens to be 7 and has already gone through an English class.
You can't just put somebody in the head position just because they're a daughter of somebody else. But then again, this is just one time. It's just one issue.
I feel like if they are given a choice, there might be a lot of debate going on and arguing, well, I want to do this, well, I want to do this too.
This summer, in order to raise money for the Department of Transportation, they're going to be shutting down a section of I-95 in Northern Virginia for 3 days to put on the world's largest street fair ever. It will include bands like the Foo Fighters and the Dixie Chicks and vendors and all sorts of activities. Do you think that this is the right way to raise money for the Department of Transportation?
Yeah, 100%. I would much rather, give my money to something that I could get benefit out of.
Presumably they don't do it at rush hour on a Friday in a snowstorm.
There needs to be a budget in the government to take care of infrastructure. If not, you end up with ridiculous situations as you're describing. They shut the road down to do a fundraiser to repair the road.
If I'm paying money for a Foo Fighters ticket, I'm paying money for that Foo Fighters ticket and the Department of Transportation is getting money. That's great. I would love to do that.
A win-win.
Yeah, 100% win-win.
This is just a complete failure by both markets and the government. It's a kakistocracy. It's ruled by the worst of the elements of society who are combining to put forward this farce called public policy, and the result is a catastrophe. Expect more, though. I don't see this changing anytime soon.
Great answer. Here in New York City today to prove that people will believe anything you say if you look like a newsman and are holding a microphone.
Fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
What's the joke with the Smirnoff Ices? They're delicious. Sometimes me and my bros, my homies, pound a few cold ones. You ever been iced? They're fun and delicious. Boom!